Oh. 250! It is week 5, and we weren't expecting to hit the 250-mile mark because usually it's just 100-mile markers, but we were super excited to see this giant mile marker in our path. Towards the end of week 4, I was battling a sinus infection, and we had just gotten to Standing Bear. And starting out week 5, I was still not feeling great, but I was feeling good enough to keep walking. And week 5 was off to a good start. We had finally reached the infamous Max Patch, and we had made some new trail friends that were hanging out with us. Max Patch was absolutely breathtaking. It makes me so sad to know that you can no longer camp here because people decided to trash it. Don't get me wrong, I think it's the right choice, but it makes me sad that nobody else can enjoy the camping because of the decisions of a few. And although I really loved Max Patch, I have to admit that I was a little bit more excited for the Roan Highlands. And although my sinuses were still bothering me a bit, the sun was shining and it was a great day to be on the trail. This is so beautiful. These adorable little plants are called Dutchman's breeches, and I loved getting to see them. It's so fun to me that as we walk down the trail, we're getting to see the seasons change in different places. It's been a few days since I've vlogged. I honestly don't know what day it is anymore. We made it out of Gatlinburg, which that was honestly exhausting after being in the woods. And then the first day back out in the Smokies was beautiful. Went to Charlie's Bunyan. It was gorgeous. We went to Charlie's Bunyan and it was my favorite view on the AT so far. Absolutely favorite. But then the next day was really rainy and we walked through the rain the entire day. Everything was soaked, even with good gear. And I went to bed feeling like I had a little bit of a sore throat, but just hoping that it was nothing. But then when I woke up the next morning, I could tell that I had a sinus infection coming on, which is super common for me. So, like, it was unfortunate, but also at least I knew what was coming. So it was really rainy and cold that morning. But we got up, we put everything wet back on, and we kept walking. And we were gonna just keep going, but we ended up just pushing into Standing Bear and staying the night so that we could get warm and dry. And Standing Bear was a little weird, but it provided a nice warm and dry reprieve. So I'm completely grateful for it. And then super grateful to Zach Galifianakis, I think I pronounced that right, who does resupplies around that area. He was able to pick up some stuff for me. Also, I'm climbing, that's why I'm panting. So that I could hopefully curb this sinus infection enough to at least keep moving. And yeah, so been hiking the last few days, taking it a little bit slower. I feel well enough to hike. I don't feel great, but taking it a little bit slower, a little bit lower mileage. We are going into Hot Springs today, and we are going to take 2 back-to-back 0 days just because, the sinus infection's in my chest today, and we're climbing. But Ozark hasn't taken the full 0 yet, and then since I'm not feeling great, but I am feeling better. Like, this is day 3 of this, and I am feeling better. We're just gonna take a few days off to rest and recover in Hot Springs and then keep moving. So yeah, the Smokies were beautiful but horrible last few days, but only because of the rain. But still wouldn't want to be anywhere else but out here. It had been a rough few days for me, especially the last day in the Smokies, but this trail wasn't getting rid of me that easily. And with a few days off in Hot Springs, I was hoping I'd feel good as new. I did rest in Hot Springs, but we also had way too much fun.
Bobby, give us a little twirl. Oh, yeah!
Yeah, baby! Ow, ow!
Even though I was still a bit under the weather, we had the best time in Hot Springs. We were serenaded by Major Tom. One of my favorite things about this community was just how many people we met and the different interests and skills that they had.
How many times that I've lied to my food home. She'll come back someday. Oh, but I'll be alright as long as there's light from a neon moon. If you lose your one and only, there's always room here for the lonely. Watch your broken dreams dancing out of dreams of a neon moon.
I don't know, there's just something about sitting in a rocking chair at a hostel with not a care in the world but enjoying the music and hiking a trail. Barbie had found a woman's tailcoat in the loaner clothes and he wore it for the entirety of our stay.
The tailcoat really makes, or whatever that coat is, really makes it.
We had done some research and found out that it was karaoke night at one of the bars in Hot Springs, and so we went out for karaoke. Barbie singing Shania Twain and the Sun God singing the Beatles stole the show.
It's alright. Spread that positivity.
After an evening full of shenanigans, it was time for a soak in the hot springs and some delicious pizza from Vinyl Pies in Hot Springs. And then before we knew it, it was time for us to head out of Hot Springs and keep hiking down the trail. We loved our time in Hot Springs and how close everything was and how walkable it was, but it was time to get back on the trail. I was feeling better, we had all had some rest, and the trail was calling. With a full pack and feeling a little bit better, this climb out of Hot Springs should not have been as tough as it was, but the view at the top was absolutely beautiful here at Lover's Leap. More and more spring flowers were sprouting up like these absolutely beautiful dwarf irises. And then we made it to the Rich Mountain Fire Tower. I don't think I'll ever get tired of climbing up the towers that we're allowed to climb and enjoying the spectacular views from the top.
It's officially been 1 month and 1 day on the AT. Yesterday, I celebrated my 1 month anniversary out here, and I've absolutely loved it, even on the bad days. We spent 2 days. We did 2 zeros in Hot Springs, and Hot Springs was awesome. We ate, we had good food, we enjoyed Laughing Heart Hostel, and we went and did like one of the group mineral baths, and that was so much fun. So yeah, we headed out of Hot Springs today. It was bittersweet goodbye, but glad to be back on the trail. We did get rained on, and I think we're probably gonna get rained on again, but it's supposed to be sunny tomorrow, and my sinus infection is all cleared up, so the 2 days off helped with that too. And yeah, so it's been a good few days out on the AT, and still loving absolutely every second of it.
And I don't explicitly say it in my videos or go into detail, but after Hot Springs was when I was just carrying my tent and no longer using it.
This is so cute, guys.
Ozark, Barbie, and I had added 3 more people to our little tramily, and now we were a hiking tramily of 5.
Y'all are like a bunch of feral animals. This is what thru hikers do when they see a sign for cookies.
We enjoyed some delicious cookies from the Southern Cookie Lady, and then when we got back on trail, I saw one of my first red Fs of the trail. I love these little creatures. The sun was shining, I was still continuing to feel better, we had new friends, and I couldn't imagine anywhere else I'd rather be.
Yeah, dude, I didn't think it would.
300 miles.
We finally hit the 300-mile mark. Again, every time we hit one of these markers, it feels so special to have made it yet another 100 miles on my own 2 feet. And to end off week 5, we finally reached
Best bypass on the trail.